I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Hello, and welcome to the next exciting episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, Quarantine Edition. The podcast where Matt and Todd watch a movie from a top 100 Netflix list, and then we watch said movie on Netflix, and then we call each other on the old Google Hangouts, and we talk about how we felt about the movie, how we're feeling about life in general. Sometimes you hear some of that in the podcast, and sometimes you don't. We'll see what happens this time. I am Todd Domer.
I'm Matt Malloy, and yes, we are here for another exciting episode. So, yeah, it's the day after the election, Todd.
Yes.
I hate the election.
Still coming down to the wire. I posed this question to my boss earlier today. If you were running for the presidency, so if you were, one of the two guys right now, basically, would you be on your computer and having all your aides and all your stuff, like checking everything every minute, or would you just lock yourself away and be like, okay, I'm going out on the lake to go fishing for the day or something. Don't talk to me until like something's for sure or something like that. How would you handle that?
I would definitely have myself and all my aides constantly checking things on the computer. That would be my scenario for sure, because I love information.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you are an input.
Yes, and last night was such a bummer. My internet was out, so I could not get information except on my tiny cell phone. No big map, no states lighting up in blue and red. Just refreshing on Facebook and AP News report.
Yeah, we had the live election results going up at work all day today, and we would like stop in the office and check it for a couple minutes and then discuss and then go back to work.
Nice.
I think I would lock myself away and tell people to not talk to me. I don't think it would drive me nuts to be checking every minute or two. Like, I'd just be like, you know what? Like, you come talk to me when there's something to talk about. Otherwise, I don't want to hear about it every 5 seconds.
Come get you when it's time to make a speech, win or lose, right?
Yeah, I don't even really like fishing, but I'd probably go fishing or something. Fishing, for some reason, just seems like one of the most isolating things you can do.
Yeah, true story.
So,
Well, there's our election update. No one knows who won yet. But
yeah, no one knows. We'll see how long it takes to declare a winner.
We'll find out in the next day or month or sometime.
Once all the court cases are settled.
That's right.
We'll find out.
Yes. Well, another thing that I thought we should mention is that we've been doing this podcast for over a year now, Todd.
That's true.
We sort of talked about it coming up to it, but then we, like, the closest
we just glossed over
it. we never mentioned it. So
I think I was caught up in the depression of theaters closing.
Yeah. It was pretty close to that. We recorded our last episode, or the episode closest to that. But anyway, yay on that. I'm happy to be doing this podcast. It's a good outlet for me, and I like doing it with you. So,
totally agreed. I love doing it, and wish we could do it in theaters, but, press on. Do what we got to do.
We do what we got to do. All right.
Yeah, I think the fact that we're recording tonight probably says a lot of how much I enjoy doing it, considering, spoiler alert for people who are listening in my life, my grandmother passed away last night. So yes. we didn't have to record tonight, but I was like, man, you know what? I really want to, because that's fun.
Yeah.
You could always have a little bit more fun in your life.
Little distraction. Yeah. But yes, my condolences.
Thanks
to you and to the Domer family on the loss of Grandma Domer.
Old patriarch of the family, Grandma Domer.
Yep. So,
on that depressing note, let's talk about
Let's talk about a movie. Okay. Well, we will. We watched a movie from our Netflix top 100 list that is refreshed often, and we do random number generator, and I think the number was like 5 or something. Gave us the
Mm-hmm.
in the B's. They're
In the
alphabetized.
bees, yeah.
So we watched the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which was not a movie I'd heard of before, but it was interesting. It's a it's a Western anthology film. And for those
Yes.
of you outside of the film snob community, an anthology is like a bunch of short stories,
Yes.
basically told in a film story, tied together loosely.
Mm.
That's definitely what this was. So they were all Western type ideas. So that's the format, and this was written and directed by the Coen brothers, who are famous director writer people. Did
Yes.
Fargo and
I have a
other.
love-hate relationship with the Coen brothers
Yeah,
and their movies. I should say. I don't know them personally, but
yeah.
yeah.
They told me that they have a love hate relationship with you personally.
Oh,
Uh,
well, then it
yeah.
all fits then, yeah.
Yes. Um, and then there's some famous people in this. You got your James Franco, Liam Neeson is in this. Tom Waits, who I don't know if he's an actor. I think he might just be a musician, but he's in this. And Tyne Daly is in. And that's it from the people I recognized. Did I miss anyone?
Yeah, the so I um Clancy Brown is a person who's in it. He's like he's the voice of Mr. Crab, I believe, in SpongeBob. But he's
I
also done
see.
plenty of movies. The guy who actually plays Buster Scruggs is Tim Blake Nelson, who I don't know. I don't know the actor. I don't know the actor personally, but I remember him from several movies. For us, recently, he was in Just Mercy. He was the burn the burned up face guy who lied and got Jamie Foxx sent away, who recanted
Oh
his
yeah,
testimony. Let's
that's right.
see.
He has a very distinctive look.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think there's just plenty of like kind of background B list people filled out. Um, Stephen Root was the guy in Office Space, the mumbling nerd guy.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through now, and it's just a ton of, couple of big name people on, like two or three big name people, and it's just some of it looks like people they could just find off the street, honestly. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it.
Okay. Well, so what is this movie about? Well, it's about 6 different things because it's
Yes.
an anthology. So I'll just briefly summarize each one, and then we can kind of talk about it. And be prepared, Todd, because I want to know which little vignette you liked the best and the worst as you go through.
Okay.
So,
I will
uh,
be. I have an idea already, but maybe you'll shake my idea by remembering me all six stories or reminding me of all six stories.
right, right. Hopefully. So the first one is the same as the title. It's called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It's about a cheerful singing cowboy who kills people.
Yeah.
Um,
Is a gunslinger and
yes,
sings.
definitely a gunslinger. And then the next one is called Near Algodons. It's about a cowboy who robs a bank and then um, ends up in a noose a couple times.
Yes.
Then the next one is called Meal Ticket, and this is about a guy who kind of has a traveling show, and his act is this guy with no arms and no legs who basically gives like memorized speeches to audience, and things go bad, and he has to decide whether he wants to continue his relationship with someone who basically can't care for themselves
Yes.
and what that means. All Gold Canyon is the next one. It's about a prospector who is searching for gold in the valley, basically by himself. There's an owl in it, and yeah, he finds some gold.
There is an owl.
Yes, there's an owl in it frequently for no real reason. Um, uh, Next one, second to last one, The Gal Who Got Rattled, is about a woman who's traveling with her brother. They're kind of on the wagon train out to Oregon, and her brother ends up dying, and um, things happen from there, and she has to kind of figure out how she's gonna live life without him and without any real prospects. Uh, and so she sort of works together with work. She works together with the wagon train's leaders. Uh, there's two guys who are kind of running.
Mm.
And yeah. And then the last one is people riding in a stagecoach and there's a corpse on top.
Yes.
And that's all of them. So it's kind of a long movie. When
It's
you
like
put
2
all
hours.
those together.
Yeah, 2 hours and 3 minutes or something.
Yeah. But that's the deal there. So, Todd, what did you think? Which one did you like best and worst?
I will answer what I thought of the overall movie first, and then I will answer your question at the end of my rant, I guess.
Perfect.
I am not. I still. Can't, I'm having a hard time really laying down what I felt about this movie, like, or these short stories or whatever. Like, it's. I mean, there's a couple of them that I don't know if I really absolutely hated any one of them, but there were definitely weaker ones versus stronger ones. I guess what's frustrating to me is that some of them do not have anything meaningful in them. Like there's barely any, nothing happens in a couple of them, and it's like, just who cares? Like a couple of them had a hard time really drawing me in to being like, why am I caring? Especially since when you start the movie, that it's going to be all these short stories. So you're not going to be in it for too long. And then when it like almost feels like nothing's happening, it's hard to talk. I can't talk about specifics because each one is like, if I got into specifics about each one, there'd be spoilers kind of. So I would say if you've seen a Coen's brother movie, all these vignettes feel like and look like and sound like definitely a Coen's brother movies where people talk in a certain way, especially if you've seen True Grit, like because that's a Western too, and like people talk a certain way and stuff like that, and it's like sometimes it's so unrealistic to me that it's like they just sometimes it feels like the Coen brothers just try to fill out their scripts sound fancy at times, and you're like, why are you trying so hard? It's the old West. These people probably did not speak so elegantly that you're trying to put all this stuff together. So I don't know. It's hard without being able to go to specifics. It's like, how do I really wrap all this up? The acting's fine. It's pretty good. I don't really feel like there was too much that I was like, oh, that's a bad scene or whatever. It's just I had a hard time caring about some scenes because of them being kind of short, honestly. Like I don't think they're all the same length.
No, I don't
So
think so.
anyway, I'll just leave it at that. Whoever wants to listen to that rambling mess that I just did, because it's just hard to like really nail down how you feel about a movie that's really six tiny movies, but you can't talk specifically about it because they're so short that anything you say is kind of a spoiler. So um, I'll go into which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. I would say, or at least felt least liked the least. The first two, which is Buster Scruggs and then the bank robbery guy, I think I liked the least.
Okay.
Um, and from a standpoint of those two, to me, they have the least amount of story in them. So things just happen and then it's over, and I really was like, who cares? Like when I finished both of them, whether or not they made me laugh or whatever was like such a side point because I was like, why do I was given you're given no reason to care about the first two ones, in my opinion. The ones that I think I liked the rest of the four I thought were good. Um, Trying to pick the best one out of that would probably be the. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so there's the one across where they're migrating to Montana or whatever, right? And then
Right. The gal who got rattled,
the guy got rattled, and then the stagecoach one,
the mortal remains,
the Liam Neeson one,
meal ticket,
and then what's the one that I'm missing?
all gold canyon, the
I'll go
prospector.
Canyon. I would say I wasn't the biggest fan of Gold Canyon because I didn't like the guy who was the main character in that one. Everything seemed
Tom
a,
Waits.
yeah, everything seemed a little forced with him, but I guess because maybe he's just not an actor. Like,
Yeah.
um, then the other three I thought were really good. The most complete story to me was the wagon one, not the wagon one, the Montana traveling one, which I already can't remember the name of.
The gal who got rattled.
Yes. I think that was the most complete story, and I felt the most involved in that one, and most interested in the outcome. The other two, Liam Neeson and the stagecoach one, are kind of similar, honestly, where you're not, like, without giving too much away, it's some stuff's not definitive in it. Like, it's just, they're both incredibly acted, I feel. Because I don't know if I mean for the Liam Neeson one, Liam Neeson says maybe two lines in the whole vignette, and I thought that one was really well acted. And the stagecoach, for being like the however long that thing is, it's just these people in a stagecoach talking. I think were all acted incredibly well. So like, and they yeah. So I'll just say, the first two were my least. I just couldn't get involved with them. Uh, the gold one was okay, and then the other three I think were the strongest. With my favorite being um, the girl who something,
The gal who got rattled.
the gal who got rattled. Yeah. So
He did get rattled.
yeah, I thought that had the most complete story, and I liked the ending of that story a lot. I thought it was like really good storytelling, that small vignette. So
Yeah.
anywho, Matt, what did you think? Slash, what were your least favorite slash favorite?
Well, this was an interesting little collection here. I would say some kind of themes throughout are each story had kind of a gotcha at the end. To some extent, there's something that happens that was unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and borderline shocking, maybe. Uh, and music is used quite a bit. I think everyone has like some music
Yeah.
that happens in it, um, which was interesting. Uh, as far as, you know, yes, well acted for the most part. Um, I thought that the the set, the costuming and
Sure.
the locations, all that stuff looked pretty authentic for like American Western times. Um, and uh, in general, I liked the way that they kind of piece things together, which I'll explain. They have like you kind of open up as like a book is opening called the
Yeah.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and it kind of goes through, and each one there's like a little colored plate with a line from the what amounts to the end of the story. So then you come back after the story's over and you kind of understand that what
Yeah.
that line was about, um, which was an interesting way to kind of keep some continuity going through that. So I thought that was pretty good. Um, Now, as far as which one I liked the best, I really liked, unlike you, I really liked the first two a lot, um, mainly because of the absurdity factor. I'm a
Sure.
big sucker for when something is just absurd, and there was a lot of absurdity in those first two. Um, so those I liked for that reason. Um, the ones I really thought were good, though, I thought the Ballad of Buster Scruggs does stand on its own
Mhm.
as as one of the better ones. Um, but I agree with you that the gal who got rattled is probably my favorite of the story that
Yeah.
happened. So those would be my top two, is those two, and quite easily for me, the worst one I thought was the Mortal Remains, which was the stagecoach one.
Mm.
People sitting and talking in the stagecoach. I could barely, it could barely keep my attention through, throughout that. It was also the last one, and I was trying to, watched them. Well, I watched them all at the same time, of course, but
Sure.
I, it was, it was wearing on me, the length of that one in particular, but the movie. So, um, I thought that the way that they set it up with the first two being kind of like humorous, and the gotchas were a little bit like dark humor,
Yeah.
and then moving through to some uh more standard storytelling was good. It just I felt like they could have left out the last one and still had a pretty good
Yeah.
of stories. So, overall, I would say that I liked the beginning of it, but it did wear on me by the end.
Yeah.
So overall, I would say I liked it, uh, but I don't know, I wish it had been in maybe reverse order, and then I would have had a better feeling coming out of it.
Mm.
But
Interesting.
uh, yeah, I'd say it's worth a watch if you like westerns at all, or if you like Coen brother movies, you'll probably enjoy this. So
Yeah, I would imagine if you are a huge Coen Brothers fan, then this is right up your alley. Not just because they did it, but because instead of just one movie that's a Coen Brothers movie, you're kind of getting six little movies that
yep,
all feel like they're have the Coen Brothers stamp on it. Like not one of them, I don't really feel like of these was out of their ordinary.
yeah, true.
So, well, Matt, um, how many armless and legless men would you give this movie out of five?
Hmm. Well, zero to five, no limbed men.
No
I
limbed.
I would I think I would give this like 2.9. I'm gonna go 2.9. So that's above average. It's pretty close to good,
Yeah.
but maybe not quite in that good category for me. And I think that's that's how I feel. So, what about you?
I think I'm gonna land at like a 3.2. because I like even as I was talking about it. I mean, even the ones that I really were like this I didn't enjoy. They still were like pretty okay to good. I didn't. It's not like they were just so crappy or anything. They just didn't resonate with me. Um, and then the ones I liked, I just thought were really good. So, um, yeah, I mean, I could easily see this movie as if I were to watch it again at some point, given some time, I could probably have easily a different rating, a very different rating. Just depends. That's what you get with when you get a movie that's about six little movies, I guess.
Yeah, true
So,
story.
yep,
Okay. Well, it seems like we've gone on pretty long this episode.
yeah,
Uh, so we should probably wrap it up at this point. But thank you for listening to Matt and Todd Go to the Movies. And we will have more episodes. But tonight we reviewed The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Came out in 2018, and we gave it an average rating of 3.05 armless
nice,
and legless men out of 5.
nice.
So,
Also, I don't know if this is important to mention, but this was a straight up Netflix movie. It was not. I don't think it was released or anything. Netflix did this movie.
yeah, I think you're right. It was
So,
never in theaters.
yeah,
So, without theaters being closed, we would never have reviewed this movie.
so true, so true.
But they are, so we did, and that's it. Thanks for listening.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.